Hello everyone, welcome to my IELTS stream. In today's video, we are going to learn how to write an agree-disagree essay step by step with the help of a sample essay. We will first learn how to analyze a question. Then we will learn how to write each paragraph, the introduction, body paragraph 1, 2, and the conclusion. So our question for today is, some people believe that nowadays we have too many choices. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? So one important thing is to never start writing before precisely understanding the question. So it is essential that you analyze the question first and also identify the keywords. Every IELTS Task 2 has two parts. One is the concept and the other is the task. The concept is the part stated first. In this case, some believe that nowadays we have too many choices. And the task is, do you agree or disagree? The keywords are always in the concept. In this case, the keywords are nowadays and too many choices. The keywords tell us how to frame our answer. So in this case, we now know that we are supposed to write about the present and that we have a lot of options to select from. And our task is to tell the examiner if we agree with the concept or not. The next step before you start writing is to plan your essay. At least know your stand and two ideas in order to support your argument. Never start writing your essay after reading the question directly. You have to keep stopping while writing in order to think what to write next, if you do not plan it. So always have a clear plan on what you are going to write before you actually start writing. So here we are now planning our essay. Our stand is that we agree with the given concept, and the reasons that we are going to give are globalization and the internet. So if you have understood till now, I hope that you are ready to start writing, and now we will go ahead with it. When you start writing, the first thing that you have to write is your introduction. In order to know what to write in the introduction, we first need to have a proper structure. Introduction should always start with paraphrasing the concept given in the question, and then we should give our stand, and then we should give two reasons, specific and exact two reasons in order to support our stand. So let's go ahead with it. We are paraphrasing the concept given. A certain group of people concur. Concur means believe or agree that there are a lot of options to choose from in the current world. So you notice that how we have paraphrased the keywords. Instead of nowadays, we have used the current world, and instead of choices, we have used a lot of options to choose from. Our stand is, this essay is in accordance with the given school of thought. And our two specific reasons are, reasons being that globalization has diversified every market, and the internet has enabled consumers to access things that they could not have in the previous decades. So by stating in the previous decades, we are pinpointing the fact that we are talking about the present, and we are referring back to the keyword in the question nowadays. So this is how our introduction looks. A lot of teachers might tell you that you need to include a background statement or a general sentence which would introduce you to the topic before you paraphrase. But the IELTS examiner will consider it as irrelevant information and it will affect your bands. So do not include any background statement, directly start by paraphrasing. This is how our introduction should look. The first thing is paraphrasing, the second is our stand, and finally our two reasons for supporting our stand. Let's start with body paragraph 1. It should also have a proper structure, and we should write according to the structure over here. The opening sentence has to be one reason or one main idea as given in the introduction. We will get to it why we need only one reason. The second sentence and the sentences after that should be explanation and development of the main idea. Your first body paragraph should end with an example which should be specific. So now let's look ahead into why I insist that you should have only one reason or one main idea in the body paragraph 1. I hope you know what this is. The official writing task to band descriptors as given by British Council, IDP, and the University of Cambridge. So this is actually the IELTS exam telling us how we can get good bands. So the importance of this is something that only careless students might not understand. I will give you an analogy on how important this is. So most of you must be knowing about the sport which is called cricket. And how do you win a cricket match? You win it by scoring more runs, or you win it by having less wickets. So if you go into a cricket stadium and you're going to have a match with an opposite team, and if you don't attempt to make more runs, or if you don't attempt to save your wickets, and then you lose the match, you go ask the referee, why didn't I win, or why didn't my team win? What do you expect the referee to say? They will just tell you that you don't know how to play a match. You were supposed to make more runs, but you didn't bother to do it. So why do you expect to win? The same goes for the IELTS exam and these band descriptors. If the authority is telling you that this is how you will get more bands, and if you don't pay attention to them, obviously you are not going to get good bands. So in order to know why we should have only one main idea in each body paragraph, we first need to pay attention to the first two criteria of judgment, which are task achievement and coherence and cohesion. So right now pay attention to band 7 and band 6 descriptors for these two judgment criteria. Let's go ahead, focus on these two. So the band 7 for task achievement or task response tells you that number 1, you should address all parts of the task. Number 2, you should present a clear position throughout the response. And the point that I am trying to pay more attention to in the body paragraph 1 is over here. The candidate presents, extends, and supports main ideas, but there may be a tendency to overgeneralize, and or supporting ideas may lack focus. Pay attention to this again. Presents, extends, and supports main ideas. So you're supposed to give explanations, this is what it means, and you're supposed to give examples. And the band 7 for coherence and cohesion says presents a clear central topic within each paragraph. So a clear central topic means one main idea. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to give multiple ideas. Nowhere in this entire band descriptor chart will you find written that you're supposed to give multiple ideas. And if the teachers you are training with tell you to give multiple ideas, I'm sorry to point out that you are learning from the wrong teacher. This is what the IELTS examiner wants to see, and this is clearly written in the band descriptors. In order to have a better picture and understanding of the band descriptors, we are going to look at band 5 descriptor for task response. Let's read it. Presents some main ideas, but these are limited and not sufficiently developed. There may be irrelevant detail. So there are some main ideas, by some main ideas, it does not mean in one paragraph, it means overall in the entire essay there are main ideas. So in your entire essay, there should be more than one main idea, obviously, especially in case of agree-disagree, where you have to give 2 reasons to support your stand. But the point is that these ideas are not sufficiently developed. If you do not develop these ideas in your body paragraph, then your task response band will be stuck at 5. So if you give multiple ideas but you don't explain them, then your task response can drop down to a miserable level of band 5. So this is the seriousness of the issue of multiple ideas. If you try to do that, if you write a lot of ideas in a single paragraph and you do not explain them, you will be stuck at a band 5. And it doesn't matter how well or how strong your ideas were. If you don't explain them, you will not get above a band 5 in task response. So let's go back to writing body paragraph 1. So our first line is our central idea. A myriad of products are now available in every country for its citizens to select from, as items made in one country are no longer confined to where they were manufactured. So this refers to globalization, one idea that we have already stated in the introduction. Now we are going to explain it. Imports and exports have become smooth and businesses are able to serve a bigger range of customers, contrary to earlier. So we are pointing out contrary to earlier, it means that we are talking about the recent time, we are not talking about the past. Buyers do not need to search for what they want in different places. Now we are going to have a specific example. The case of Japanese technological devices substantiates this process. These devices were earlier only available in Japan, but with easier trade laws, they are now available in most nations. So we have met the requirement for body paragraph 1. We have stated a clear position, a clear idea in the opening line. We have explained it and we have given an example for it. Now you can go ahead and actually read how your body paragraph 1 looks. This is how it looks. We are going to proceed further with body paragraph 2. The good news is that you don't need to do anything different. As it is an agree-disagree essay, it is one of the easiest categories in the IELTS exam. You need to do the same thing you did in body paragraph 1. You need to have an opening sentence where you give one reason or one main idea as given in the introduction. Second sentence and more, it should be explanation and development of the main idea, and it should end with a specific example. We have already discussed why we need one reason and one main idea, so we are not going to discuss that again, and we are going to go ahead and write our second body paragraph. So we can start body paragraph 2 by using a good discourse marker, which is additionally. Since you are going to write another supporting argument for the same stand, additionally is a really good cohesive device if you are writing an agree-disagree essay. Additionally, the websites on the internet make it easier for people to reach even those things that might still not be available in their homeland. Customers looking for any commodity or service ranging from education, books, clothes, and even psychological counseling can find it on the web. Most places have cheap internet services that help with enhancing the options for the local people. A prime example is of the students from countries like Somalia, where they do not have well-established universities, but youngsters are able to get an online degree by studying from a university that provides online courses. So we have met all the requirements for a body paragraph again. We started off with a central idea, and then we explained it, we developed it, and then we gave a specific example for it. So this is how your second body paragraph looks. Keep in mind that in the first body paragraph we talked about globalization, and now in the second body paragraph we are talking about the internet. Both the reasons we have already mentioned in the introduction paragraph, and your body paragraphs should not differ as compared to your introduction. If you have mentioned one reason in the introduction and if you mention different or new reasons or ideas in the body paragraph, you will again lose marks, which you do not want. So only write in the body paragraphs what you already mentioned in the introduction. Do not write anything new. So finally we are at the conclusion, and even the conclusion should have a proper line-by-line structure. We are going to start with a good discourse marker, which would tell the examiner that this is our conclusion. We are not trying to write any more body paragraphs, and it should be really clear. Please do not use discourse markers like in a nutshell, all in all, and all the other things that you normally see on the internet. They are not considered to be academic discourse markers, and they are a little bit informal. In the IELTS exam, you should try to be more academic. So you can start by writing in conclusion, or you can write to conclude. As you just have to write one essay in the IELTS exam, these two discourse markers are enough to remember. After writing these discourse markers, you should write your stand again, which the same stand that you mentioned in the introduction, and then you should end with the two reasons which you mentioned in the introduction again. You might feel that you are just repeating information, and that is actually the truth. Your conclusion should be a repetition. I'm not talking in terms of words, but in terms of your stand and your ideas. Paraphrase as much as you can. try and use synonyms, but please do not include anything new in the conclusion. So this is how conclusion should look. In conclusion, this essay has showcased how citizens of countries have a broader viewpoint while looking for what they want. So this means that people have more choices. This is our stand, and now we are going to mention the reasons. As international businesses have expanded, and easy accessibility through the internet has definitely aided in having more choices. You can go ahead and see how finally the conclusion looks. Here it is. So finally, we are going to see how the overall essay structure looks for an agree-disagree essay. You are going to start with the introduction. You're going to paraphrase the concept of the question. You should give your stand, and you should give 2 specific reasons. In body para 1, your opening sentence should be one reason that is mentioned in the introduction. After that, you should explain and develop your idea, and at the end, you should give a specific example. And also remember that you are supposed to leave lines between paragraphs. Always leave a line. It is not a difficult thing to do. In your body paragraph 2, you should open the sentence with another reason or main idea which you mentioned in the introduction. Then second sentence and more explanation and development of the same idea. End it with a specific example. Leave one line, and now you can write your conclusion. You should start with a good discourse marker, and then you should restate your stand and restate your reasons. So that's it. That's how you write an agree-disagree essay. It is, according to me, one of the easiest essays in the IELTS exam. So the takeaways from today's lesson are: follow the structure line by line. Do not try to include any irrelevant information. Do not include multiple ideas each paragraph. And please explain your ideas. Number 2, have one idea only in each body paragraph. Do not use multiple ideas again. Number 3, take one stand. Do not be neutral. So why is this important? Technically, you are allowed to be neutral. You can say that you agree to a certain extent, but then you disagree also. But it is always very smart and safe to take one stand, because it is easier to justify that. You might think that you have justified your neutral stand, but the IELTS examiner might not think so. The IELTS examiner is difficult to impress when it comes to a neutral stand. So it is always recommended that you take one stand. You either agree or you disagree. Don't be neutral. Number 4, ideas or reasons mentioned in the introduction should be the same throughout your essay. Nothing new should be mentioned. If you have not mentioned it in your introduction, don't mention it anywhere else in the essay. Number 5, have the same stand throughout your essay. So what some students do is they start off thinking that they agree, but as they write through their essay, they start thinking that they disagree also a little bit. And if you do that, you might not have the same stand throughout your essay, which is risky for your task response band, and it will make your overall writing band suffer. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you understood how to write an agree-disagree essay step by step, and you also understood the importance of band descriptors and the rules that apply to all the essays, not just agree-disagree essay. So if you think that our content was good, and if you think that we helped you a little bit in understanding the IELTS essay, please give us a like, share our video, and comment. We are also present on Facebook and on YouTube. Wherever you found this video, we are also present on the other website. On Facebook, our group's name is My IELTS Dream, and we also have our Facebook page, My IELTS Dream, where we have regular updates on the IELTS exam, and we keep on publishing free content for students. You can also get your essays evaluated professionally for a very minimum cost, which, as far as we know, is the cheapest essay correction service on the internet. So please feel free to ask us any questions or any queries you might have. You can also email us on myieltsdream123@gmail.com for any query related to the IELTS exam. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.